into the major, but I agree with you that they struggled when the round breaks down, right? Like they're fine when they're do their protocols and have their set openings, but once the round breaks down and it turns to situational Counter-Strike, like they're just not good at finding solutions and, you know, winning rounds that way. Problem is, neither is Snacks, to be honest with you. Like during the G2 days, especially after Nico left the team, is like their T sides, unless the first play works, like what they're trying to do, like slow developing rounds, like pulling rotations with some small movements, with small fakes here and there, like that's just not what they were doing or what they could even do or what they were trying to do in a way, right? So I don't know, I think if his supporters want to say, yeah, but he couldn't get anything done because of Monesi and Eco and blah, 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 he had players overcall him too much or take too much space, well, you won't have that in a team like Gamer Legion. Like, that's a team where you as Snacks will have, you know, full control over how you're going to play the game.
Congratulations,
so
you got what you wished for.
Yeah.
Have fun.
That's why I'm saying deserves
if you're asking, you know, if you're asking me, while Ash is on a break, get Taz in there too, man. Give them like a chance to run it back, and let's see with, you know, full range and full control how things look like, because they have some talented players there. It's not like they have no firepower. Obviously, you know, Hypex had maybe his best performance at the major. I don't know, but whether they're going to try and upgrade that department or not, we'll see. But that's a team where sort of you have just enough firepower where you can cause an upset here and there, right? Like you can make some of these games competitive. I'm not saying Gamer Legion with Snacks will be able to constantly make playoffs or anything like that. They won't, right? But it will be telling if all of a sudden they're unable to win games at these tournaments and they fall out of the invite bubble. Like, that would be very damning on Snacks.
Snacks, Taz, and Hades. Get all the Polish ones in there. Bring it all over. And now we got a real core. Now we're cooking.
Couple of months, get Diha in there for Rez. You know, it's all coming together.
I'm excited for this one though. This one's exciting. BC Game has gone on a bit of a tear over the last couple days. Obviously, Simple and Electronic are over there. They've dropped Nexa, they've dropped Emmy the coach, and they've now dropped Sausalito, and they are rumored to be looking into the heroic core. Changes coming out of that camp.
Sausalito was the first guy after I watched, say, the first 15 Simple games when he was on their team. This guy was... I haven't seen as much lately because obviously the last 3 weeks I was focusing on the major, not BC Games results, but he was just griefing more rounds than I could even count. This dude would push more than anybody ever. I don't think I've ever seen a single than Sausalito did in the first 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, even first month of Simple being on the team. The heroic core is going to be a lot better, but I also think that the problem is that the water's already poisoned. I mean, ever since Electronic got on the team, Simple just fell off the water. Just started playing Dota so much more. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there's something that happens when Electronic joins a team where when he's not succeeding, he just starts saying, it's because this guy sucks. Because apparently James was in his own head about his own calling within 3 months of Electronic being there. Like, when James says in the first season that Electronic's on your team that maybe I don't know how to lead anymore, and then suddenly all these roster moves are happening and Simple's playing worse, I feel like he poisoned the well, and I don't know if he's going to recover, because the truth is I would rather stake my team success on a heroic core of 3 guys and I would even have kept Sausalito or Nexa, it doesn't matter, and kept Simple and just gotten rid of Electronic, than have this duo now of Electronic and Simple and then 3 heroic guys being brought in.
If I had to make a completely baseless claim to address your question, like, I would imagine Simple joins that team and is playing with these guys and goes back and says, You have to give me some help. These guys can't. These guys aren't good enough. I can't do it with this team. I have to bring someone in that I want to play with. Oh, Electronics, a free agent. He just got cut from his team. Bring him over. We won a major together. Played for a long time. Batman and Robin. Blah blah blah. Get him in there. Electronic comes over and starts saying the same thing, and it just frays the team apart eventually, which is why you eventually, obviously, Steel and Electronic are always going to win out in that exchange from of the name of their names. That's how I would have expected this team to just kind of fray and break apart from the inside and blow up in this fashion. I just don't know. I don't know what the heroic core like this. I actually, this is why I hate this whole concept of being able to go out and pick up a core and be able to get there. Because this is like the cheat code. This is getting to skip the first 5 steps, and the whole thing is, I think, like, for instance, the biggest issue right now is that we need to see he has the motivation to grind back to get to the top, and now he's getting to skip the grind back. And now I feel like I'm back onto this simple thing. And I didn't want to be here. I want it to be done. I don't want to be doing it anymore.
Yeah, but the problem is that's not really. I can get the reason for bringing Electronic is you bring in a familiar face and you bring a guy that you feel like knows how, like
and
knows.
you bring a guy that just killed the past 3 teams he was on.
I know, but like he knows how to play situational Counter-Strike. What we talking about, right? Like he knows what are good plays. You know when it makes sense to push, when you just need to play to stay alive. Where it is like talking about Satsanito, where like he's just going to roll the dice. He's going to walk through the smoke and try a random play. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Right? And he was maybe a bit tired of having too many guys who are like that, and they can't play high-level CS really, and maybe getting a bit checked out because of it. But you see, that's the whole thing. He cannot do that at this point, right? That's what it was about, more than numbers and fragging and anything like that. It was that he can be, you know, a tier 1 professional, right? And that he can grind through all that shit and just like put his head down, 2 hours, grind the game, like push through that all, and then hopefully over time, okay, I mean, VC Game has said they want to have a contending team or whatever. So they were going to remove these guys sooner or later, right? Like, obviously there was very small chances that this roster that was somehow going to work and going to be able to compete, right? But the fact that he is checking out midway through it to some extent, that's where the problem is. Well, how can I trust you now to build a team around you where, sure, even if I give you better names, if somehow you don't like how it's going, right, you're just going to play below that in CS. Like, that's not something, that's not the way to behave in Tier 1 Counter-Strike in 2026.
Do we know who the core would even be coming over? Has that been put anywhere? Like,
But they also have a problem where they brought in Prison for LNZ, right? I don't know if they've played. I don't think they've actually played games. Yeah, so their core is like, so they could get LNZ plus, right? And then Heroic would, you know, we only need to change 2 of their active players. Obviously, they would still lose their core, but you know.
If you get Nilo and Xcloud, those guys are pretty.
If they don't get completely destroyed and devoured from the inside.
I would take it in a heartbeat, and I would tell Electronic to not talk to these guys.
but lead the team. Just don't ever talk.
No, just in scenarios you can talk to them, but outside the server, you need to step away from these malleable children who are easily and hurt by your words.
All right, well, that's a fun one. We're gonna see how that VC game project continues to develop. Near and dear to the Americans, Hex is gone. Jaba has been signed over from Wildcard. So I don't know. I don't know if it was anything to do like with performance, but maybe just looking to get more production out of that position of like anchor and kind of a lurker role on the T sides as well. And I think Jaba's a player who showed some cool things within Wildcard. So it's nice seeing a progression to the players who keep showing potential in the Americas teams. I guess, Maui, are you hyped about this one at all? You don't seem to be.
Well, it's because I'm torn here. The reality is that Swisher and I were born in the same hometown, and now we're again living close to each other. Or I moved to Sacramento. kind of lives in that area. And if it were up to me, and if I were the M80 GM, I probably would have, if I had JBA as an option, I probably would have taken